Welcome to Category 5 Technology TV, episode number 346 for Tuesday, the 6th of May, 2014. Great to see you. It's Robbie Ferguson right here.
And it's Erica Lalonde.
And who have we got over there? Krista.
Oh, hi. I'm Krista Wells. A little short. There we go.
Hey. Tonight, we've got a lot of viewer questions. We're going to be rocking them out, both in our mailbag and in the chat room. We've got our live chat room on Freenode. It's Category 5. Get over to our website if you're not already logged into the chat room. You'll see it on the Interact menu. Send your questions attention to the Krista, and she will do her utmost to get them in. If you have any comments while you're watching the show, make sure you also put those to attention to the Krista.
And what's coming up in the newsroom today is that Samsung must pay Apple $119.6 million for a patent infringement. Now that you have the perfect cup of tea for $13,000. Also, OpenSSL is set to receive a massive injection of cash to support the open source project.
I like how the pause happened there. OpenSSL is going to have a massive injection of cash. Couldn't plan that.
And Sony has developed a storage tape that holds 85 terabytes on each cartridge. So stick around for these news stories that are coming up later in the show.
And we have a set of Category 5 premium vinyl stickers to give away, so make sure you guys are in the chat room. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be an amazing show, guys.
This is Category 5 Technology TV. Starring Sasha Dermatis, Hillary Rumble, Krista Wells, Eric Kidd, and your host, Robbie Ferguson.
This is Category 5 Technology TV. So great to see you. My name's Robbie Ferguson.
And my name's Erica Lalonde.
All right. Krista.
Well, I'm Krista Wells, by the way.
We're just getting used to this. This is kind of cool.
Back and forth.
Yeah. So we got another person here too.
How many people do we have in the studio right now? Who knows? But Category5.TV is a member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. That's cat5.tv/TPN and the International Association of Internet Broadcasters, and that's cat5.tv/IAIE.
Thanks, Krista. Of course, we just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who has sent in monetary donations over the past little while. We joked on the April 1st, April Fool's Day show that the new microphone actually caused our co-host at the time, Bailey J. Thompson, to sound like she was possessed by a Gua'uld. But in fact, even though that was a joke, the truth is we do have an extra microphone, and thanks to a contribution from our viewer Jot, Krista is able to be here tonight as a second co-host to help us keep on top of the chat room, because it's really, really tough as the chat room is flying by. I guess as a co-host, it must be you know better than I, because I kind of
a lot of the times I see such great questions, and I try to go back, but then it just keeps on loading and loading and loading.
Yeah, they just fly by.
It's great to see everyone putting such great input into our chat room, but we want to make sure that we answer all your questions, because there are some really great questions that we can help answer, and Robbie's superior knowledge.
I didn't pay her to say that.
I'm just saying.
But I think what it comes down to is, as we're going through questions, reading through the mailbag, going through questions in the chat room, there are some great comments that come in the chat room, but sometimes we miss you and we catch them after the show, or possibly just a little too late to actually make mention on the show. But tonight we're going to make a valiant effort to do a little bit differently. An interesting way that you can contribute to Category 5, as I speak briefly about people contributing to the show. Dennis Kelly, for example, went onto our website, Category5TV, and went into our support the show and then affiliate links, which is really, really cool because there's a list of different companies that basically work with Category 5 to, we promote them, they promote us, and we work together. So there are actually links for Amazon. And so Dennis Kelly clicked on one of those links, bought himself a new laptop, and that automatically, even though it just was a purchase for him, actually put a deposit into Category 5's bank account to help us with the bills and to help us provide this free service to you, whether you're watching on Roku or however you're catching the show, if you're watching on our website or on YouTube or just catching it on, it could be anywhere, Miro Internet TV, Blip.tv. We're kind of everywhere. Speaking of Roku, have you got yourself a Roku yet?
No, I haven't got my Roku yet.
Really?
But I've been really wanting to get one.
Yeah, I'll say.
I'm waiting to get one.
Got to pick one up if you haven't got one yet. Now tonight,
it looks so cool.
We're making some changes to the live stream, working very, very hard to get you a reliable live stream. For those of you watching on Roku, if you've had trouble with buffering on the live stream, I don't think it's a problem on the on-demand stuff. It's always just the live stream. Please work with us as we work through those kinds of glitches, and I hope that tonight you're going to find things to be a little bit more reliable. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks for joining us on Roku. Another quick mention, if you go to our website on your mobile device, it's going to take you over to m.cat5.tv. Pretty cool to be able to watch the show on your mobile, on your tablet, on your phone, and you can catch the show live. You can listen live if you're driving around or riding the bus and you don't want to use up all your bandwidth. You can just listen as well. Cool stuff. That's m.cat5.tv. Well, Krista mentioned at the top of the show that we have an opportunity for you to win some stickers tonight, so you want to stick around. We're going to be pulling that draw in a little bit of time. There it is. Cool. In the meantime, let's jump right into our viewer questions. We've got a lot of them.
Yes, we got quite actually a bit of viewer questions, and our first one is from Tennessee Frank.
Hey, Tennessee Frank.
He says that I know you really love your Point Linux install, and I've been running it on D-band distros for over a year. But
probably Debian.
Debian distros.
Yeah.
For over a year, but recently I wanted to learn Arch Linux. It had always kind of scared me because it's supposed to be pretty hard to learn, but I found a version with the Xface desktop. I have it set up so it looks a lot like Mate desktop. You can see the top panel, but the bottom one is on auto hide.
Okay.
And anyway, I wonder if you might have any to give it a try. Let us know what you think, and to also keep on bringing us the great shows. And that's from Tennessee Frank.
What does he mention the name of the distro there?
He just said Debian distro.
Debian based.
Yes.
I see an attachment there. Let's pull up your picture here. Oh, cool. Okay, so there's a screenshot and everything. I'm just going to bring this up. Manjaro, it looks like. Cool. I'm just going to get into the... one of the things that's really, really neat about Linux, and I saw this question, I don't know if you caught that, Krista, in the chat room there just before the show, but somebody was actually asking about different distributions of Linux, and it's true that Linux, there are so many different flavors, and next week we've got an interesting feature because we're actually going to be switching Sasha to Linux on her brand new laptop, so that's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be interesting to see what flavor of Linux she decides to go with, because there are all different types of Linux that you can choose based on your preferences. So if we go back a couple of episodes, Category5.tv, and I'm going to see if I can pull this up. I don't know, Krista, if you're able to do it faster than I am, but on our website, if I scroll down the homepage a little bit... Oh, episode number 342. You'll see that that episode was Farewell Windows XP. And Kelsey and I showed a whole bunch of different versions of Linux that you can install. So that's really, really cool to be able to find different things. So what Tennessee Frank is saying here is that he's got a different version of Linux that's not based on Debian, because Manjaro is based on Arch Linux. So it's a little bit different as far as how it works. Let's take a look at his screenshot. Sorry, I've got it up here now. Oh. We're so getting used to all these different... Yeah, oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. That's the one. Okay, that's cool. Now, I've actually got Manjaro installed on my system here, and how cool is that out of the box? It does look pretty sleek, I've got to say. And from the perspective of somebody who's switching over from Windows, it looks pretty sleek. I don't know if it has the clean-cut edge of, say, Zorn OS, what we saw there, but I definitely feel like it's got some things going on. So if I go to, I guess, Internet here, it brings up everything on the left-hand side. So I bring up Firefox, and it'll actually load my browser out of the box. Graphics. These are the things that it comes with. Games. Oh, it's got Steam pre-installed. That's kind of a bonus, because some people have had, if you have trouble getting Steam to work on Linux, it comes with it. It's already there. Okay, so there's Firefox. So manjaro.org. Cool, check it out. Manjaro, and thanks for sending in that tip to check it out. I am a Debian fanboy, I'll say, because Debian, I grew up into Linux using Debian and Debian-based distros. So all that means to you, if you're new to Linux, is it's really a matter of preference. If you're new, it doesn't matter. For an old school boy like me, it kind of matters, because I don't want to have to relearn stuff that I already know in Linux. Even though most things are pretty similar, commands are the same, and it works. And you can watch the show if you're watching Manjaro, or you're using Debian, you're using Manjaro, you're using Point Linux. It doesn't matter. The things that we show are still going to be accurate. That's one of the beauties of Linux. So cool. Thanks for sending that in. And I love your screenshot. It does look pretty
interesting. Yeah.
Windows-esque, and that was XFCE that's running there as a desktop environment. Also now known as Xface, which I also enjoyed.
We have another question from Buddha Belly.
Hey, Buddha Belly.
And he just said that I just finished watching the Web Dev series. He loves the great info.
Hey, that was you and I, Krista. You remember doing that?
That was you. We were just here.
That was when we were when you just started with the show.
I know.
Cool.
That was a good time.
It's a while ago.
And he has two questions.
Okay.
Can I download any site's code files to my computer? And I don't want to pirate their code for my use, so he wants to look at it to learn more about web development and to see if I can, use it and learn from it and improve it.
Oh, okay.
And his second question is, if it's possible, is it considered ethical? Which is very important to him.
Sure. I almost, Krista, did you catch that question? Because I almost want to get your opinion on that.
I didn't. I was busy typing in the chat room here.
Okay. And that's good. As a developer, Krista, I'm going to run this by you. You're a web developer. I'm a web developer. So we probably, we all have our own opinions. But how do you feel about somebody going to your website, looking at your source code and using it perhaps to influence their decisions as they program their own website?
That's kind of a tricky one. I mean, in one way, I mean, it's like somebody kind of taking your work, but in another way, I mean, there are people out there where that's kind of how they learn too, right? I mean, if
Sure.
you learn by professionals and what you see, and not always just looking at a piece of code is going to help some people out. Maybe seeing the code and then seeing how it's working on their site might work better for them. So I'm not sure. It's a little bit split.
I kind of think that these days a lot of us use the open source libraries, and so for me, if you go to Category5TV or any of my sites and start looking at the source code, I don't personally really mind that, I would say. As far as legalities go, is it legal? Let's go to Category5.tv and see what you're actually going to come up with if you do this. So in any browser, you hit Control-U, and that's going to give you the source code. So here is a minified copy of my source. So here's the thing, my friend. You can look at that, and I'll give you permission. I mean, go ahead and look at that. You'll see that I use a lot of open source code, and I use a lot of my own proprietary stuff, but nothing that I do is, so proprietary that I would be offended if you took it and used it. The fact is that what you're seeing here is it is compiled, if you will, into HTML code and minified. So what you see here is not what I actually coded in the long form. Because when you go to our website, it's actually connecting to a database, it's gathering a lot of information from the database, and then is generating these files based on algorithms which I created. So you'll see here that, if you go through the source, you'll start to see things like this, where, this actually looks very, very similar from one to the next, and that's because they are, in fact, loops. Through code, right? A lot of this stuff is dynamically generated. Why does this line look so similar to this line? Well, it's because they're actually created by the same code in a loop. So for you to look at this code, you are looking at the compiled code, not the actual process that creates the loop. So you're not seeing anything overly private. This is only the stuff that I wanted you to see. So you're not seeing those database connections or those passwords or the session information or anything like that. All you're seeing is the compiled code, what I wanted you to see when you go to our website. That's a good for security too. I mean, just not to digress, but one of the things that I look at is, okay, we need to make very, very certain that cookie information is not revealed, because some people think, well, cookies, are they safe? Well, I was on a website today and even posted a link in the chat room and realized that, they're actually revealing the session ID on the URL, and that's kind of, I think that's kind of silly, kind of bad practice. But so we actually take an effort to hide everything that we don't want you to see, so it all happens on the server end, and what you're seeing is all what we've revealed to you through the compiled code. So enjoy it. I think legally though, as long as you don't copy, like if you went to say Google and you copied their code and you used it for your own website, then that's when you're pushing into the realm of illegal. To go on to a site, even if it's Google or whatever, and look at their code, there's nothing to stop you from doing that. It's going to be minified, so it's going to be hard to read. You need to understand code in order to get some of it. And minification means that it's shrunk down. It's almost compressed, but in a textual format. So you can still read it, but it's hard to read because everything is compressed down. Line breaks removed, comments removed, things like that. So you can look at them, but just don't copy the code unless it's legitimate, unless you're legitimately allowed to do so. Last week on the show, Krista, you and I talked about CDNJS.
Yes.
And CDNJS, really, really cool because they are a repository of specifically freely available code. So if you go to cdnjs.com, you're going to find a wealth of code. So you go to whatever, you find something that you like, and you visit their website, and you look at their examples and things like that, and it gives you a really good starting point as well. So, long answer is done. Short answer, go ahead. Just don't copy it onto your own code verbatim. Learn from it, but don't copy it like to your clipboard and then paste it into your own site. Learn the process. That's what you want to do. Cool. Thank you very much for the question. This is Category 5 Technology TV. I'm your host, Robbie Ferguson.
And I'm your co-host, Erica Lalonde.
So good to see you. And we've got Krista.
I'm Krista Wells. Over in the corner.
In the corner. All right, so get your questions in. Chat room. Hey, ping Krista, the Krista, and she's there to. And feel free, Krista, to interrupt us at any point if you feel like somebody's got something for us.
Totally would.
Yeah, you would. That's why we put her there. We know that she'll throw something at my head if she needs to. Very good. Okay, so I've got those stickers to give away. We should probably do that.
Great idea.
I think Drawbot is ready for it. I think he is. Let's take a look at the code. Yeah. Okay, so you want to show these stickers? These are pretty cool. These are premium vinyl stickers, and if you've got them already, They're great stickers.
I have one on my laptop, and it's surprisingly the only sticker that's ever stayed on my laptop.
There you go.
Stuck really, really well.
But you got to be careful because someone will try to steal it off of your laptop.
I know.
It's really an awesome sticker.
It is.
Like, wow, that's a nice sticker. Here goes. Drawbot has gone into the chat room. I'm going to see if I can push the right buttons here. There's a lot of buttons in front of me, aren't there, tonight? Drawbot is some sophisticated stuff. Goes into the chat room at Category 5 on Freenode and grabs all of your names. This is for a 2-pack. This is like you've got the 2-up sticker set. They're premium vinyl stickers. They are printed on clear vinyl so that they will stick to whatever you put them on, and there's no white trim or anything like that. We're going to let those go through the loop. It looks like it's moving along pretty fast. I didn't want to take too much time on a quick draw tonight, but I did want to be able to send you something here or send these anywhere in the world. And you can stick them to anything. They won't leave any kind of residue. That's the other thing with these, eh? You can peel them off. If you want to move it somewhere else, you can peel it off and move it over to something else. I see the Albuquerque turkey.
Maybe if I break another laptop. Yeah.
Nice to see everybody joining us from all over the world tonight. If you're watching on Roku, hey, welcome. Make sure you also get into our chat room if you can. If you've got your mobile phone, go over to our website and you can join us through the Interact menu, chat, and open our web chat. Speeding up, here we go. Good luck, everybody. This is for a 2-up set of premium vinyl Category 5 logo stickers, and the winner is Peter _ Congratulations, Peter. Winner of those stickers. I don't know how to do all this. I'm pushing buttons, and I'll stop the music. Ready, set, go. That was awkward.
It's a learning curve.
But congratulations, Peter. It is. I wish I could show you all this. Whoa.
Maybe just show them your overwhelmed look.
The
on your
look
face,
on my face.
and they'll understand. Yeah.
Pushing the wrong buttons and stuff. There we go. Okay. All right, shall we jump into the news? And then we've got more of your viewer questions. And don't forget to message the Krista in the chat room, Category 5 on Freenode. Congrats again, Peter. Peter, where are you from? Let the Krista know. And Krista, I'd love to know where Peter is joining us from tonight.
Oh, I'll find out.
You'll find out? Get to the bottom of this? All right. Take it away.
Well, here are the top stories from the Category5.TV newsroom. So Samsung has been ordered to pay $119.6 million to Apple by a U.S. court for infringing 2 of its patents. A jury in California delivered the verdict in a federal court Friday. Apple had sought $2 billion at the trial.
Whoa!
Accusing Samsung of violating patents on smartphone features. The court also ruled that Apple infringed some of Samsung's patents and awarded $158,000 in damages. So it kind of went both ways.
Not really, though. And I kind of feel like, okay, if I was the court system, I would kind of feel like putting these 2 in a timeout. You know? Like, come on, kids.
Apple over here, Samsung over here, you know?
If you can't play nice, just... And the whole patent disputes and everything. I guess, there's some legitimacy in some patents, but sometimes it gets absurd. Mm-hmm. It gets ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And this is just one of those cases.
Yes.
Sorry. Krista?
Yeah, I've got an exciting news story.
Oh, this is cool.
Yes. Well, I am a lover of tea, so this story is especially interesting. A machine with a $13,000 price tag is said by its manufacturers to make the perfect cup of tea. Beacon, the company behind the machine, says the brewing process is a lot more complicated than simply dipping a tea bag into some boiling water.
Of course it is.
Of course. Prototypes are being tested in U.S. coffee shops, and the device could be commercially available later this year. Exciting. But experts are questioning whether anyone would want to pay so much for a tea maker.
Sorry, how much is this thing again?
$13,000.
To make a cup of tea.
Well, I mean, you make more than one cup of tea, I would hope.
Okay, yeah.
Fair
enough. You make 3 cups of tea.
Well, then, I mean, 13,000 divided by 3 is, you're getting there.
You're almost in a profit margin.
Right. So, it uses a brewing chamber into which loose tea leaves and water are placed. Sounds easy enough. The air is then drawn out to create a vacuum. This negative pressure in the chamber brings the tea leaves to the surface of the liquid, and according to Beacon, draws out flavor more precisely than simply adding boiling water.
Okay.
The process is repeated for between 60 and 90 seconds. Different flavors need different numbers of infusion cycles. It sounds very official. And variables such as water temperature and contact time can be fine-tuned. The machine can brew more than 60 cups of tea in an hour.
Wow. Okay, so how do you make your tea?
Well, actually, I'm kind of a tea connoisseur.
Okay.
And I have all the David's tea lines and Teopia.
She's name dropping. Tea opium?
Teopia.
Oh, Teopia.
Teopia.
Right, that's different.
And it's something that I got in... Teopia. That's a lot different.
Teopia opium tea.
No, not that far.
Yeah.
But it's... we have our iron, tea mugs. We even have the cast iron pours. We have all kinds, got all kinds of cupboards full of loose leaf tea.
Okay.
But to me, to make 60 cups of tea in an hour, that doesn't seem...
Well, this is for business, right?
For business.
Okay.
It doesn't seem... To me, that it seems profitable. It doesn't seem as profitable as it could be.
Krista, do you make it from tea bags, or are you loose leaf girl?
I'm a loose leaf.
Okay.
I'm definitely only loose leaf.
All I have is loose leaf tea, and because we're so fancy around here, we got to do it like the shops.
You gotta, yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Can I get over here?
Can you get it?
Just smells like Cat 5.
Smells like blueberry.
That's wonderful.
You getting
Thank
it?
you. Sure.
Okay.
Sure I did.
Well, I've got. Okay, so we've got for the perfect cup of tea, because we want to know, can this be done for under $13,000?
Yeah.
I've got gingia, black tea. I've got raspberry from Africa, and I've got a nice fresh kind of berry floral apple kind of tea. What interests you, Krista?
I like the
Considering I don't have any milk or
wafting
honey
one.
or anything. Okay, the wafting one. Okay.
The wafting one's pretty good.
For us, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try something a little different. We've got an espresso machine. This is technology at its greatest, folks. Okay. Espresso machine with some tea. Here we go. I don't know, about a tablespoon and a half. Kind of push that in there. Pack it down just like the cafes do. Okay. So espresso machine, I don't know, $60. There we go. There we are.
We got our own espresso at Cat 5.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm dropping stuff. There we go. Got my lid. So let's see what happens. I'm curious. Are you curious?
I am curious. I've never seen
A
this.
$13,000 perfect cup of tea. I wonder, if you guys watch tea boil. Let's do another story here, and then we're going to come right back to that. This one's for me. The recent heartbleed bug was one of the absolute worst internet flaws ever uncovered. and this was just recently. The maintenance of the software, which secures around 2/3 of the world's websites, was done by a group of volunteers with very little funding. A new group, we're starting to hear it. A new group has been set up by the Linux Foundation to help them moving forward, with firms such as Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Intel, IBM, Cisco, and Amazon donating $300,000 each over the next 3 years. A whopping $3 million has already been raised to support the maintenance of OpenSSL, as well as the development of other crucial open source software. So I think we're going to see some changes there. Definitely a good thing for open source and for OpenSSL in and of itself. Oh, here we go. Tea is coming. I don't think this is going to do 60 cups an hour, because that's 1 a minute. This has been...
A few minutes so far.
It was whistling there.
The whole I've never knew tea could be vacuumed.
There you go. Now you know. So we're pressure steaming the tea.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen. You watch. Krista, you ready to take one?
All right, let's rock.
All right.
Let's rock it.
I'm going to interrupt if the tea starts spewing out.
Fair enough.
Oh.
Priorities.
Delightful.
It's got a good smell to it.
I smell raspberry and maybe some elderberry, blueberry, and apple. Definitely apple.
You got that nice...
Wait for it. Okay. So we're going to extend this over to you for your news story here.
Excellent. It looks hot.
It's very, very hot. I'm working my way.
I can figure it out.
I'm doing this in slow motion for
because he's only like
sake.
5 feet away from me.
There you go. So
studio complications.
it is hot. I want to know, is that our
Better
little $3 tea and $60 espresso machine, is that the best cup of tea that you have ever had?
You want me
The
to
best
taste
cup
it
of
right
tea
now?
in the world. Smell
Might
it. Give
burn.
us some of the aroma.
Very nice.
Is that a
Very nice.
$13,000 cup of tea?
I'd at least pay $13,500.
Interesting. Very undertones.
Primo. Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, it is good.
I think
can you guys
cappuccino
taste
machine tea is pretty awesome.
I kind of want to taste it.
Yeah, you gotta give it a try. Give it a try. If you got a cappuccino maker, throw your loose leaf tea in there. You'll have a good cup of tea. All right, take it away.
Right. Now I can do the news story.
Okay, now we can.
Now, okay. Let's go. Sony has developed a new storage tape that is able to hold up to 185 terabytes of data per cartridge. Wow. Created with the help of IBM, Sony's technology allows for tapes that can store the equivalent of 3,700 Blu-ray discs. That's quite a lot of movies. The tape holds 148 gigabytes per square inch, beating a record set in 2010
Wow.
more than 5 times over. Sony was able to achieve the high storage capacity by utilizing a nano-grained magnetic layer consisting of tiny nanoparticles, allowing for greater density. The technology was announced at the Intermag Europe 2014, an international magnetics conference held in Dresden, Germany. Sony is also working on more consumer-friendly storage. In March, it announced it was working with Panasonic on the archival disc, which will hold 1 terabyte of data, the equivalent of 250 DVD films.
Wow.
So not as great as 3,700 Blu-ray discs, but...
Really? I jokingly kind of look at this and I think, okay, are those cartridges here, in fact, 4 feet wide each? Because you can't really grasp the scale. They didn't set it next to a CD or anything like that. I think where this is really an interesting advancement, because, for us as home users, we're not going to use cartridges, that's for sure. But you think about someone like Google or Amazon or any of these companies that have to archive their backups that are gigantic because they've got so much client data. They want to have redundancy. They want to have some kind of a backup. Isn't this the perfect kind of solution to have that much storage? How many terabytes was this?
A lot.
Yeah.
185 terabytes.
Per cartridge.
Yes, per cartridge.
Wow.
That's amazing. just astounding. So for somebody like Google, I think, plug it in. Or for a business that, has a large amount of data, I think about, offsite backup providers or places like, be it PocoPlug's cloud services or anything like that. Where do they put that data for redundancy? These are kind of the perfect thing. So interesting to note that Sony is also working with Panasonic on a consumer product, which is going to be about a terabyte, which is more than enough space for a fair backup for any of us. And, if you need more than that, you just use another disk. That makes sense.
Wow, that's awesome.
Trying to fathom the ginormousness.
I know, I'm just like, wow, like how much? I could store so much.
How many MP3s is that? Don't even bother. That's so many. That's the whole world's MP3 archive right there.
I should just download every single classical song in all of time, and I still wouldn't even come close to filling it up.
Not even. Well, that's it for the news.
And you can get the full stories at category5.tv/newsroom. The Category5.tv newsroom is researched by Roy W. Nash with contributions by our community of viewers. If you have a news story you think is worthy of an on-air mention, email newsroom@category5.tv. And for the Category5.tv newsroom, I'm Erica Lalonde.
Thanks, Erica, and thanks, Krista. We've got more of your viewer questions, and of course, get the Krista in the chat room. Wave to us, Krista, so they know who they're talking to, and she'll be willing to take your questions and relay them along to us if you've got comments.
Yes.
Anything to do with the show.
I
Anything
do actually
so far?
have a question that came in while we were doing the news.
Okay.
So it's from guest 2629.
Hey, guest 2629
says that he's using Compiz animation in Linux, but is not able to use it in Xubuntu. He has Lenovo Y500 with NVIDIA.
Okay.
GeoForce 650M. Probably not. Oh, the problem is not with the install.
This is a laptop then.
But it's with the stability because it breaks his system.
Oh, okay. So how do you mean that it breaks your system? What happens there, guest 2629? This sounds like it's a mobile chipset on the video card, so it sounds like a laptop computer with an NVIDIA chipset. Should be fairly stable. If you hit Alt F2 and you type compiz -- replace. But what you may need to do is install a program called Compiz Config Settings Manager. We've covered it a few times on the show. It's also known by its short form CCSM. And let's see if I have it installed. The reason that I suggest that you get Compiz Config Settings Manager is because this is going to allow you to now tweak your Compiz experience. So that if you are having trouble with some of these crazy effects that you're able to do with Compiz, you can tweak it and disable the ones that are causing the problems. One of the cool things that you can do with Linux is you can run anything from the terminal in order to get the output of that application. So instead of hitting Alt F2 like you normally would, why don't you go into terminal and type compiz -- replace. And as long as you're the same running user as your desktop, so I haven't done a sudo or anything like that, then if Compiz crashes during the process, or if there's some kind of error output, it will in fact output it as plain text into that terminal window. So it becomes a bit of a log for you to monitor in real time. So that might be a way for you to track down which plugin is it that's causing the trouble. But then again, as I say, get Compiz Config Settings Manager and go through and find out if there are any settings that you're using that are possibly causing the problems. You may find you're on XFCE, and I don't know. See, like for mate or mate, depending on who says it, whether it's me or anyone else. For mate, there is a mate compatibility plugin. For GNOME, if you're on GNOME, you're going to have the same thing. So I wonder if there's an XFCE compatibility that you need to enable. That's a potential thing as well when you're running XFCE. I'm not too sure because I don't use XFCE on any of my systems. That's just matter of fact, right? I just happen to be running mate. So good luck. Don't give up. Do the terminal trick and see what it outputs and see what you can figure out. Good luck. Thanks for the question. Thanks, Krista.
We have a question from Dooley GLT.
Can I call him Doodly?
Doodly.
Okay, Doodly. All right.
Doodly, I like that. Maybe.
Doodly.
We're just going
Nice
to
to see
change
ya.
your username.
We're going to change your name.
We're just going to change your name because we like the way it sounds like Doodly.
We could just say Dooley is Doodly.
Doodly. It says,
I hope you're not. If you're a woman, then forgive us, because that obviously the joke doesn't work.
No.
It's hard to say. The nicknames, we don't know.
Dudetly.
Yes. There you go.
No, we'll just keep it Dooley.
All right, Dooley. Hey!
In a recent episode, there was no way for a viewer who wrote in could use XP securely on a system to have access to a particular software.
Okay.
Could he not run an XP virtual machine, go into its device manager, and remove any network adapters so he has no access to any network operations? Have a shared folder with the host system to manipulate any files needed in XP, and have that folder shared on a local network, and the files can be scanned by the local host antivirus / anti-malware scanners or any malware bytes, and that way it can be accessed, secure, and not exposed to the web.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. So, and we have talked a little bit about virtualizing Windows XP in an event where you absolutely, for some reason, have to have it. And that's probably the only thing that you could do safely. And your solution is similar to the one that I made a couple of weeks ago, which is remove the network adapter altogether. Garby made a very interesting point commenting on our website, Category5TV, on that particular episode, and said, why don't you just set it up as a host-only adapter? And I thought, you know what, Garby, that is a fantastic idea. So when you go into your settings here for your virtual machine, here I've got a Windows 7 laptop that Becca and I migrated over to virtualization. So what we're saying is, instead of having a bridged adapter, and when we talk about removing a network adapter, it's not like a computer where you have to actually physically remove a card. No, with a virtual machine, this is what's beautiful. I could just turn it off. It's gone. That's all there is to it, right? But here's the case, Dooley, where I want to still have access to some files on my host, so I can create a host-only adapter and set it up so that it only has access to the file system on the host. Okay, the host being your Linux, the guest being your Windows. So I'm going to explain that a little bit further in that, okay, now as a host-only adapter, this computer no longer has internet access. It only has access to the host computer. And so then I go into shared folders, and I can create a new folder, and I can grab a folder path such as, /home/Robbie/documents, and I can actually share that to my virtual machine as a share. So now documents is shared from my host to that virtual machine. And similarly, based on a question that we had last week, this could be a NAS unit plugged into your computer, whatever it happens to be. So now I've shared it to that machine, even though this computer now only has access to the host, it has access to the documents on my host computer. So now I've got a way to transfer files back and forth between the virtual machine and the actual physical computer, which is brilliant. How do you like that? So thank you very much for the comments, both Dooley as well as Garby for that. And it's a hot topic right now. Honestly, I'm probably getting about 3 emails a day specifically saying exactly the same sort of things that you're mentioning. So I know this is a hot topic, and people are wondering, what do we do about XP? Because it's just it's a serious situation, and you can't keep running it as is. You've got to do something, either replace it or virtualize it and do what we've shown here. So good luck, everybody, with that. If you're on XP, sorry, good work.
We have another question
Alrighty.
from, I'm really trying to pronounce your name, Fanazian Mahmoudi. Faizan Mahmoudi. And he said that he came across some videos and he had a question, like others, about a good setup and equipment for live broadcasting for his church. He says that I got the Wirecast piece down and all, but I can't seem to find a good camera that can be mounted and controlled remotely. The tricky part of our setup is that we would like for it to be ceiling mounted and to be up and running on an autopilot at all time. But at the same time, have some way to control PTZ remotely. Okay. So he says, currently we have a Vivotech PTZ IP camera installed, but the video quality isn't the best.
Sure.
Also, we ideally want something with HD output that we can display on local TVs and projectors in-house.
Makes sense, for sure.
In-house, while at the same time output to Wirecast for live streaming. Any ideas or suggestions that we could provide would be greatly appreciated.
Sure, I'll do my best to help Faizan. First of all, PTZ is a pan tilt zoom. It's a short form for a type of camera, and what it means is that it's typically used for surveillance. These are surveillance cameras, like you see above Krista's head, for example. There you go. So surveillance cameras that with PTZ technology allows the controller to actually turn the camera, pan, tilt, zoom, right? So they can look around the frame. So using it for church services and stuff can be really, really good, but you've got to have a PTZ camera that is a full HD camera. Unfortunately, because these are surveillance units, right, quite often they are CCD, just standard low quality, low def, like 176 pixels width or something like that. They're really, really low def. That's why when you see surveillance footage, whenever you see surveillance footage on the news and, do you recognize this guy?
Looks
and
like
it's really pixelated. It's really, even though it's a shot of their face, it's really, really hard to see what they look like. So that's maybe what you're encountering. So you need to get closed circuit cameras, IP cameras that are HD, plain and simple. 1080p would be perfect, even if you're only broadcasting and recording at 720p. You want to have a 1080p source so that you can do stuff like this digital zoom. I know that I'm a little bit out of focus, and that's just the camera because we're saving up and really hoping that we will be able to get a new camera here at the studio. That focus issue is because of this camera. But it is a 1080p camera, and it allows us to move around the frame, which is brilliant in a service because imagine, with pan tilt zoom, that's great, but imagine being able to get in just a little bit closer at a 720p frame on a 1080p source. So you're going to get better quality when you zoom in digitally. So those can work really, really well. IP cameras tend to have just a little bit of lag, so you're going to run into possibly a problem with synchronization between the lips and the audio itself. That can be a problem for what you're trying to do. Ideally, you'd want to have something that is connected by a BNC connector, like a BNC cable, professional video camera, something that is going to have that really good, robust, fast, long length. You can have 100-foot length of BNC cable, and it's not going to cause any lag in the video. It's perfect for what you're doing. You can find some. I know Canon has some prosumer cameras in around the $1,500 mark, I believe, and up to about $4,000 that have the BNC connectors. I'm not sure of the actual models. They're new within the past year, the lower priced ones, because they are just a nice, good quality consumer form factor camera, but prosumer optics and prosumer features such as the ability to connect BNC. And then you have something like a DeckLink card in the computer and be able to stream and record and broadcast simultaneously to the TVs that are out in the lobby. And Wirecast is beautiful for that. With a Blackmagic card in there, like a Blackmagic Intensity Pro with the HDMI output. Now there is a pass-through for your HDMI. There is the ability to actually take the Wirecast screen and broadcast it over your projectors and over the displays in the lobby, like I say, over HDMI, so you get a nice 1080p source. Krista, you've got a monitor to your right that is actually broadcast. So Krista can actually see everything that's going on the screen as we do this. So that would be a similar situation to you with your lobby TVs and things like that. So Wirecast is a great solution. cat5.tv/Wirecast. You've got to have a really good, fast computer. You've got to have solid-state hard drives. In my experience, we tried a RAID 1+0, and the single solid-state hard drive, it's a good, fast one, but the single drive is faster, it performs much better when we're broadcasting than the RAID 1+0. So I definitely recommend going with a good, fast set of SSD hard drives, one for your operating system, one for recording to disk. So I hope that helps. I don't know how much more help I can be just with just the questions, and I hope that we can hopefully come to something, and keep us posted, I guess, and let me know where you decide to go. If I can help you, you know that we're affiliated with B&H Photo Video, so cat5.tv/BH is a way that you can support the show while buying the stuff that you need. Of course, Amazon as well. They have a lot of electronics now. You can get there through our website, Category5.TV. Click on support the show, and you'll see the affiliate links. And so that's an interesting way that you can buy the stuff that you need for the church or for your broadcast. It doesn't have to be for churches and things. And it would actually support the show as well. And I can help direct you toward equipment that maybe will perform quite well for you. So I think latency is what you're going to run into with some of those runs with the IP cameras. Maybe not, depending on the camera. But when it's HD, going over 10 over 100 over 1,000, like a gigabit network, you're quite possibly going to max things out, so you get low resolution.
I do have a comment here in regards to the last question from Dooley.
Sure.
Just to jump back, Jot just wanted to mention that it's still not secure.
This is the Windows XP thing.
Yes. He says, since any data transferred can contain viruses, an antivirus will stop scanning for XP viruses, so they will not be detected and infect the machine anyways.
This is true. I mean, the same thing goes for because companies are going to stop supporting Windows XP as well as Microsoft. So ESET, for example, has stated that they have extended their support until 2017. So, in a couple of years, you're not going to even have antivirus available. But 2017 is a little ways off. But I fear that the problem with a company like ESET saying we're going to support XP up until 2017, I fear that makes people have a false sense of security, because the problem with Windows XP is not viruses anymore. So yes, it's true that the file transfers could cause you to get a virus if you had a virus downloaded to your to your Linux host, saved it into your documents, and then ran it from your Windows guest, even through the way that I showed you. And an antivirus will pick that up if it's up to date, but you can't get the antivirus definition updates because there's no internet in that virtual machine. So it's a mess. It's a catch-22. But the main concern is not viruses with Windows XP anymore. So if you think, oh well, I've got AVG, I've got ESET, I've got Norton, well that doesn't matter, because they're not protecting you against the real threats, which are these exploits that allow hackers to take control of your Windows XP machines and use your resources to attack government facilities and home users and businesses and to send out spam and do all this kind of stuff. That's what we're concerned about. So, valid point, though. Antivirus ain't going to do you any good in a case where you've got a machine that doesn't have any internet access, can't get its antivirus definitions, and the antivirus companies themselves are going to cut you off. So you have to upgrade. It's plain and simple.
It'll definitely be interesting to see Sasha using Linux now.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. Good for her, taking the brave step. If only we knew anyone else who would do that.
Not a chance.
Come on.
Come
on, you can install Linux on a MacBook.
Why would I?
Because it's awesome.
It works perfectly just as it.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
It crashes every time.
Never crashes.
Always crashes.
Never.
Fight. It's full of viruses.
We'll fight later.
All right.
Smile for the show.
To the death.
What about the space screen? Because when I use my
Space screen.
Yeah, because when I use my boyfriend's laptop,
Yes.
I'll be in the middle of doing something very important for school, and then I get this screen of space, or the blue screen of death is the way I call it.
Yeah, the BSOD?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But
That's Windows.
no, it's happened. He has Mac, and it's happening.
The little where it crashes and Mac logo comes up? That's
something seriously wrong with your computer.
Yeah, that's probably like bad RAM or a bad hard drive. You need to check the hardware, most likely. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bad RAM.
Well, it's been a few years.
Yeah. You haven't glued any of the keys down, have you? Because that would probably cause
I hope nobody
problems.
knows about that.
Nobody does. Nobody has any idea what I'm talking about.
Okay, so a little story.
Can I tell the story?
Yes, you can tell.
Brought her computer into me and said there's something wrong with my keyboard. So I took a look, removed the keyboard from the laptop. Somebody had crazy glued some of the keys down. I said, well, what on earth? You've crazy glued them down. She says, they kept falling off. That's the story. So said, by the way,
I had to get a new keyboard.
So you had to get a new keyboard because, like, the J key is glued down.
I just didn't use J.
Yeah.
I would copy it. I would copy and paste J's.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And then avoid sentences that had J's in them.
Just had the alphabet and just copied and pasted the letters that she needed. Wow, that was fun though. That made me laugh for sure. Can I say welcome to our newly registered viewers here on Category 5 Technology TV with the very short time that we have left here. Maybe you two, I'm going to bring up the map, and if you two want to tag team on our new viewers registered on our website, category5.tv. Krista, what's one?
New viewers, where are you? Oh, there you are. Lang DSS. Welcome.
And welcome, Ope Night Marine.
What is it with you and opium tonight? It's the second time.
Ron Perry, welcome.
Hey, Ron.
And Sugar.
Hey,
like Sugar Ray. Throwback. There's Amateur Radio Man.
Hey, yeah.
Welcome.
And welcome, Russell One.
Hey, Russell.
That's it.
Okay, well, let's look at the map. Here we go. Baton Rouge, Toronto. And is that Boston?
Boston.
And Chicago.
West Side.
Nice to see everybody joining us from all over the world. Let's switch out of live mode here on our viewer location map, just to give you a grandiose view to understand the scale of our reach here at Category 5 Technology TV. Here you go. So this is our world, which seems so small tonight. Thank you to everybody for tuning in here at Category 5 Technology TV. There you go. There's the United States of America and Canada, Dominican, Venezuela. You know, we're kind of reaching.
Does that show smallpox breakup?
I'm gonna keep going south here, just in is there nobody further south than
Argentina.
Let's go overseas here. Nigeria and Ethiopia. Saudi Arabia watching tonight.
All the way in Sweden.
Look at this.
Norway.
So welcome everybody watching Category 5 Technology TV. This is absolutely free to watch. All you have to do is get over to our website, category5.tv.
What's that little island down there?
Whereabouts? Down in the middle of the Indian Ocean?
Right here.
Oh, over in
right in the middle of nowhere.
Just off the coast of the Philippines. This is Northern Mariana Islands.
Shout out
there you go.
There.
Welcome to our viewer who is watching from Saipan, Northern Mariana Islands. So welcome to everybody, and we love having you here. That's all the time that we've got. Can you believe it? Category5.tv, that's how you find us. Get your questions in. Next week, Sasha's going to be here. I'm excited about this. We're going to be blasting Windows off of her new laptop. We're going to be putting Linux on there, and also we're going to be welcoming a security engineer from PasswordBox to answer the deep questions that have arisen since we had them on the show. So if you have questions specifically about PasswordBox, make sure you pop us a line this week, and any questions at all, email live@category5.tv. That's all the time that we have for tonight. I'll see you next Tuesday night. thank you, too, for being here. Krista, nice to see you.
Nice to be here in the corner.
And Erica,
Nice
always
to
a pleasure.
Be here. I hope everyone has a great night.
Have an awesome week as well, and I'll see you next Tuesday with Sasha. See ya. Where's my button? There it is.
We hope you enjoyed the show. Category 5 TV broadcasts live from Barrie, Ontario, Canada every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you're watching this on demand or through cable TV, check out the local show times in your area at category5.tv and find out when you can watch live and interact in the community chat room. Category 5 is a production of Prodigy Digital Solutions and is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 2.5 Canada. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.